What is going on, guys? We're going to be installing a new fuel pump on our R32. So this pump is the AEM E85 320 liter per hour pump. We aren't going to be running E85 right now. We're going to be running E85 in the future. So I just want to get this out of the way so we don't have to do it later on. Because I think that my fuel pump is already going out. So I just want to buy one pump one time. You know, don't really want to have to later down the line buy another fuel pump. And this pump is compatible with 91, which is what we're going to be running. So it's not going to damage the pump not running E85 in it. I actually have this same fuel pump, just the non-E85 version in my 240. And I've had no complaints with that. The fuel pump actually isn't even that loud, which is nice. But most intake fuel pumps aren't really that loud. So let's take a look at the pump real quick. The one thing that surprised me when I first got this is just how tiny the fuel pump actually is. Like, just look how tiny this fuel pump is. On the back of the box, they actually have the dimensions for the fuel pump. But I know this pump is a direct fit for the S chassis, and we're about to find out if it's direct fit for the R chassis. First thing you're gonna do is open the trunk, because that's where our fuel pump is. And we gotta take out this mat. And our fuel pump is right there, so we gotta take this mat out and that piece out that covers the spare tire area, and then we can work on getting the fuel pump out. Then you just take off these 6 10mm bolts, and then the plug is under here, and the actual fuel pump and hanger and everything is on here. So we unplugged our fuel pump, and now we have to take the 2 fuel lines off, and then we have to take these 8mm bolts, and then we can pull this assembly out. So here is our fuel pump, and this fuel pump filter is so trash. It's got so much crap on it. That's not good. We're getting a whole new filter with our new pump, thankfully. So we have to take the pump off, take this hose off, undo the connections, and we'll actually have to wire in this plug, and then that just plugs right into the pump. So I have the fuel pump on. We're not running this rubber piece that goes at the bottom because it just doesn't fit with the AEM pump. It kind of makes it like crooked, and there's just no way that it can fit with the fuel filter on it. So we have it pushed down a little bit to where this is sitting under this bracket, and then we have a zip tie on here to secure it. So this fuel pump is pretty secure and it's not going to be moving. We also put new hose and new hose clamps because the old hose and hose clamps are all rusty and just not good. It's just a good idea to replace them. So now all that's left to do is wire this plug. It's going to be red positive, black negative. They're going to just color match the wires there, and then we can throw this whole thing back in the car. Now we have our pump all wired in, so we can now throw it back in the car. And now I have everything closed up, so that should be it. So let's turn the car on and see if it'll prime the fuel pump, and then if it'll start the car. Oh, I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna place the camera back here, and hopefully you guys can hear that sound as well. Alright, will she start? Oh, sick. Real easy. Our idle is kind of weird. It's idling at 1000 and it's still cold. I feel like the idle air control valve isn't working because once the car warms up, the idle is around 700. I think that as well as with my 240, this idle air control valve does not work, so I have to open the throttle just a little bit. The problem with the stupid stock manifold is that the throttle body is flipped upside down, so the adjustment screw is on the bottom, so I can't really get to it. So we're good to go. The fuel pump primes and then the car starts easy, so we shouldn't have any issues. I need to add gauges to the car for sure. My issue is I don't want to damage any interior piece. So there's actually a piece that goes on to the steering column that deletes the stock plastic piece, and it has 2 gauge holders in it. I need to get that so I'm not damaging any interior pieces, because I wanted to do the pillar pods, but you need to damage the interior piece to do that. I'm not going to do that. Skyline interior parts are not cheap, and I don't want to break any. So we're going to do that, and that's going to limit us to only 2 gauges. So one's going to be air fuel ratio for sure, and I'm still deciding on the other one. I don't know if I want to do boost, coolant temp, oil pressure. I'm not sure yet. I'm leaning towards coolant temp because we already have a boost gauge from stock, and we have a coolant temp gauge from stock too, but the stock ones are never really too accurate. They're always kind of, sometimes the gauge will just shoot to overheating and it's too late. So I'm still deciding on what to do for that, but one definitely needs to be the air fuel ratio because that's something that we need to monitor. But for now, I'm going to throw the interior pieces back in and then we're going to be done. So fuel pump install is pretty easy. There's not a whole lot to it. The reason that I also upgraded this pump so early, apart from in the future we're going to go E85, we're not going to do that for a while though. The car has been having some like hesitation issues when I get low on fuel, and I'm thinking it's that fuel filter that was at the bottom of the pump. It used to do it if I did really sharp turns, but once I replaced my coil packs with LS coils, that stopped happening. So I thought that was the end of my issues, but then it started happening again once I was low on fuel. So I'm thinking that that's what the issue was. If it's not that, it might be the MAF, which we're going to get rid of anyways because we're going to go standalone ECU relatively soon, hopefully in the next couple months. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you did, comment down below, and then hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.